What's up, everybody? We're doing something a little bit different today. Instead of just talking about cars, we're trying to fix some stuff with the Pajero. I mentioned in my New Year's resolutions I want to fix some small stuff, and that included this window here, not working, and there being a parasitic draw. And I think I mentioned that I think it might have something to do with this window and why we have that parasitic draw. So we're going to start the process on diagnosing that. We're just going to do something simple today. This will be a video over multiple days or weeks, depending on what I got to order and what I got to do. So what we've done so far is the battery was completely dead. So we went ahead and we bought a trickle charger. And we hooked the car up to the trickle charger. It's been on for a few days. It's fully charged right now. We did this before, and I just didn't film it, or I did this before. And I don't know why I say we so much. I just like including you guys in this. But I did this before, and then I unplugged the battery tender, trickle charger, whatever you want to call it, let it sit overnight, and there's lights on there that are 25%, 50%, 75%, and then a green light for 100%. When a light's blinking, it means it's getting up to that percent. The 75% light was blinking, and the 50% light was solid, so it was more than 50% battery, but at least 25% of the battery had drained overnight, and in process about 9, 10, maybe 11 hours. So it's a fairly decent parasitic draw. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to pull the fuse for the window switch, and we're going to let it sit overnight again. It is 3:57, so I probably won't get to it tomorrow just to see. So it'll be a good 15, 16, actually it'll be a good 17, 18 hours probably at the earliest before I get out here and check it again tomorrow. And we're going to see what the battery looks like. If the battery hasn't drained much, then we know it's something to do with the window motor, and that's diagnosed, and that makes it a lot easier because then we can go on and diagnose the window motor and the window situation, and we can maybe do 2 fixes in one. So we're going to worry about the parasitic draw first. So I'm going to go ahead and get that taken off, and then we'll probably pick up this video tomorrow after that. All right, so here's what we're doing. We have our handy fuse diagram from the the Pajero Evolution Owners Facebook group. Shout out to that group. That group is awesome. I don't know how well you can see this, but we have our diagram here with everything labeled and translated into English. We have our battery that we need to disconnect the tender. You can see the tender down here is green. And we need to go ahead and disconnect it from the wall first. That's the right plug. We'll go ahead and disconnect it from the battery. And then what we're going to do here is take off this cover. It's the fuse cover, and God, I took this off before, and it's such a pain in the ass to get in under the to get back on under the negative cable. It's kind of a pain to get off without removing the negative battery cable. It's even harder to get back on, but we're getting this off here. Oh boy, is it hard to tell what is what in here. But we're looking at our diagram. So you can see this indent here. That indent is right here along the battery side. And when you look at it, there is the 3 30 amp fuses and the number 5 in the middle. This 30 amp right here is the it says power window number 5. Number 5 is right in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and pull this. I don't have a fuse pulling tool, but it should come out pretty easily. So there we have our power window fuse pulled. We're going to put this aside somewhere safe, but that's what we're going to go ahead and do now. Again, shout out to the Pajero Evo Facebook group. But we're going to come over here, and we're just going to go ahead and place this safely inside the Pajero. I miss driving this thing. Hopefully we can get this figured out. But we'll go ahead and come back tomorrow. So that's where we're going to end it on day 1 for now. Like I said, we're going to come back tomorrow morning, and we're going to plug in the battery tender, and we're going to see where it's at and see if that's our parasitic draw. Hopefully it is, because that's the only issue we've really had with the Pajero so far. The only other thing that I could think of is maybe it's the aftermarket head unit, and we might just go ahead and do that test again. And honestly, I blew that fuse when I jumped it, so I doubt it's that. But we'll go ahead and see. So we'll check back in tomorrow, and I'll see you then. All right, so it's the next day now. We're going to see if the Pajero lost as much charge. It's 12 o'clock the next day. It was about 3 o'clock the day before, so it's been about 21 hours since we unplugged that. So it's about twice as long as last time, but we'll see what the light looks like. The lighting's been kind of crappy because we're not actually working on anything, so I didn't come bring out my lights or anything. But let's go ahead, pop the hood, see, hook up the battery, tender, circle charge, whatever you want to call it, and see what it's looking like. All right, so we'll go ahead and reach on in here and pop the hood. Go ahead and unlatch it. Give me a second. Got it propped up. Come over here and grab our battery tender cables. Positive to positive and negative to negative. Like I said, sorry, the lighting's going to be a little bit crappy in here. All right, so we'll go ahead and plug into the wall. It might not show the actual accurate battery right away because it takes a second. So let's see what lights come on here. That's what it did before, and then it ended up jumping up to 75%. So let's let it go ahead and see if it senses a little more. All right, so there's our 50% light. See if that goes solid. All right, so there's our 75% light. Let's see if that goes solid. Now, even if this doesn't, oh, so that goes solid. All right. So since that went solid and we have more than 75% charge after after twice as long, maybe even 3 times as long, we know that the window switch is what's causing the parasitic drain. I don't have time to diagnose stuff today. Probably going to be a few days. Today's Saturday. I'll probably leave this on the trickle. Actually, I'll probably take it off the trickle charger because it looks like we're almost to 100%. And so we know what it is. I don't have time to diagnose. It's going to be pretty cold the next few days. Tomorrow's Sunday, playoff football, and it's going to be 37 now. It'll be 50-something in the middle of the week. So we'll take a look, and we'll bring out the multimeter and try to diagnose if it's window switch or window motor, but we definitely know one's faulty, and that helps save a lot of time when diagnosing the window. So that's where we're going to leave it off today. Obviously, this will still be in one video, so I'll see you in a few days. All right, so originally the plan was going to be to go out to the garage and take off the door panel and take out the multimeter, test the window switch and the motor, but I'm just going to go ahead and make the bet that it's the motor because it's been cold, I've been busy, and I'm feeling a little lazy, and we need to get a part ordered because it's going to take a while to get here. So we are on amayama.com where you can order parts for vehicles that were sold in Japan. BMW and Mercedes are on here. Porsche's on here, Seat's on here, Skoda, Volkswagen. I guess they really do parts for all sorts of cars everywhere. Looks like they do. You can get E30 parts. That's interesting. Do they have E30 M3 parts? They do have E30 M3 parts. Huh. I didn't know Amayama sold anything other than JDM parts because I just immediately go to Mitsubishi, which is what we are here to do. We are going to Pajero. The Evo is the V55W. We have an automatic. So they have all the different parts of the car, whether it's an engine, which I'm going to order something else on here. And while we're here to get some work done that I'm not going to do myself, because here's what a new engine costs, plus the shipping and tariffs from Japan. So we'll get to that in a second, because we're going to order something else. Not from Amayama. We're going to order something else too. because I just need to get this car right so I can drive this car. So we're gonna scroll down and we are going to go to, and I'll link Amiyama down below. We're gonna keep scrolling down, keep scrolling down, keep scrolling down. Front door window regulator. So we're right-hand drive, so we need a motor, front door power window regulator. We don't need left-hand side. We need right-hand side. Wait, that's the regulator. Motor, right-hand side. Why does that look funny? Okay, so we're gonna go to the motor. Here's the genuine Mitsubishi part. Motor assembly, Mitsubishi part number. There's our motor assembly that we're gonna order. Like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and straight assume that this is the issue. So we can go ahead and get something ordered because delivery between February 7th and March 9th. It is January 13th. So it's going to take almost a month to get here. So we need to go ahead and just get this on order. So we go to secure checkout. I'm going to go full face cam here while I type in my information so I don't dox myself. Need to clean up my office behind me. Okay, I guess I just signed in straight with Google, which I don't want to dox myself on either. So I'll have to just remember to block this out in editing. When did this, oh, because I had one in my car before. I was like, when did that get to $400? So between February 7th and March 9th, so I've got to block out my address here. It's being shipped to my address. $42 in duties, taxes, and fees. $18 in shipping. So we get $60 essentially added to a $170 order. Thanks a lot, Trump. I confirm the order total can be charged. Time of delivery and availability can be charged. I've checked the order. Your order contains items. Once you can pay further. So you don't pay until they check everything. Things technically can change, but you will get an email saying that your order is approved, and then you'll pay. So technically charges can change. So we'll update when I get that email. All right, so I got my emails from Amiyama. So if you, when you order, you can see when I ordered an oil filter before. When you order, you get this email. Our staff needs to have a look at your order. They just make sure that they do have it in stock. In fact, total here is $231.37. That's notable here in a second. And then you get we're currently confirming pricing and availability with the manufacturer. This generally takes up to 3 business days. It's 0 for 2 for taking 3 business days. It's usually by the next morning. And so you get this email, and then finally you get this email. Your order is now ready for payment. It did go up $233, so it went up less than $2 for shipping and duties. It says I could get here by January 30th, which would be awesome. That means in February I can go get timing belt serviced, which I've gotten quotes for those. So then you use this link to pay. Takes you to this page to pay. Pending payment, availability confirmed, approximate delivery, and that's January 31st. Obviously, this email came at 3:05 a.m. Eastern, so middle of the night, because they got to check with their partners in Japan, obviously. So then you go pay for it. You got to pay through PayPal. Don't want to dox myself here. God, do I remember my PayPal login information? Because I don't really use PayPal. I do. But look at my Authenticator app now. Trust this device never works. All right, so I'll just have to remember to. So it already has my credit card in there saved. I'll have to edit some of that out later. Continue to review order. And then just thank you for your payment. So that's it. That's the simple process. Of course, we will update again once we receive it and once we do the work. One nice thing about Amiyama is they just charge you the duties and the tariffs and all that up front, so you don't have to pay for it when you get the package. So that's nice. So that's the whole process of ordering. Saw it yesterday. Order. They check. Then you get the emails check for availability, and then they check for availability. Email you that's available. Ask for payment. You go pay it. Finally, that's the whole process. I like that they don't take payment and then just refund you when they're making sure they have it. So that's the Amiyama process. Like I said, I'll link them down below. And I will see you when I receive that part. Well, it took a while, but we are finally going to change the Pajero's window motor. Between having to wait for the part to come in and how crappy the weather's been here in Western North Carolina, I've been delaying it. It's still not nice out right now. It's like low 40s, but I'm tired of not driving the Pajero. So we're going to go ahead and get the Pajero window motor changed, and we're going to see if that is our problem with our parasitic draw. So I have hooked up to the battery tender, the Pajero's battery. It's all plugged in. You can see here that it's green. It's 100% charged. So that means that we have it all charged. And then after we replace the window motor, we're going to put the window fuse back in, which is currently not in. We're going to change the window without the fuse. So we're going to change the window motor, put the fuse in, and then we're going to unplug the battery charger and see if that has fixed our parasitic draw and it was the motor. If it's not the motor, we'll have to keep doing troubleshooting. Hopefully it's not the window switch because those are hard to find. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and let's go ahead and check out and let's go ahead and replace the window motor. All right, so we're gonna take this door panel off. I got my POV view on. I'm gonna do the best I can to make sure that the view's good. I'm gonna try to pull it up here on my phone. Oh, I can't once I'm recording. But I'm gonna do the best I can. So the lighting's also not great. We have a pin here that I just took out. It's this style pin here where you push in the center to get the pin out. We have one here that I eventually need to replace that has been falling out since I got it. There is one screw up here in the door handle or the door release. There's two here in the door pull handle. And then there is two screws under. Fortunately, we have to pull off this moisture barrier. All right. So the motor, I think, is right here, feels like, which is not awesome. I don't know what I expected. Let's see. Yeah, there's no motor in here. I don't think there's one in there either. I'm really trying to avoid pulling this moisture barrier all the way off, but let's see. Nope, that's all switchless. Is that the motor? No, what is that? All right, we're gonna take a break in footage while I figure this out, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so we have eyes on the window motor. It's gonna be hard to show on camera. My lighting's not great either, but you can see down in the crack of the window, there's the motor. This is the back side of the window motor here. My one worry is being able to line it up with the pulley it needs to be on. I'm not too worried about screwing it in. It's just 3 screws. But this is the motor right here, and then I just have to worry about this connector right here. Should be simple enough once I get everything lined up, but we'll go ahead and do that now. So just for a little demonstration, here is the new window motor. There it is in the door. So you can see here, it's kind of hard with one hand, 3 screws right there. And so this lines up about like this in the door. My worry, besides getting it up through this hole here and lining it up properly, which this is going to be quite the tight fit with the glass in there, but you can see we can start to get it in there. So we're going to have to work that up in there. My only concern, and hopefully I can see enough in there, is lining this part up right here. Hopefully I have enough of a window in there to line it up. It's hard to see whether or not I do. If you look, the top back right corner here is right here. So we have to line this up about here. I'm guessing that that window will give me enough, or I'm just gonna have to feel for it. But we got to get this thing in working condition, so let's see what we can do. Well, I was hoping I could take the lazy way out and not have to lift the glass and take the whole regulator out, but there's no easy way to do that. I was hoping I could be lazy with it. I can't be lazy with it. So I hate to leave it off here and continue the next day. I'm going to run to Harbor Freight tomorrow and either get this done Friday or this weekend. But we're going to leave this for here. I'm going to not put the car back together and just throw everything in the car and leave it at that for now, unfortunately. But I will see you when we continue work. What's up, everybody? It is a few days later. I've gone and gotten suction cups to hold the window up. So we're going to try to get this Pajero window done. And then when it's done, we're going to unplug it from the battery tender, let it sit overnight, and see if that is the source of our parasitic drain on the battery or not. But let me go ahead and strap you onto my head so we can get the POV view and get to work. All right, so we got on the goofy head cam. And so we got to remember where we left off. We had unbolted the old motor, and we were trying to be lazy and just get this window up and out without having to, or trying to get out without having to move the window up. That's not going to be the case, which sucks because now we got to take these off, and I got to peel back more of this to get these 2 off to get the whole regulator assembly out. What is this? Oh, and we're going to have to unclip this now. This was the connector for the motor, so we're good here. This was for the door. This is for window control. This is for the light. Okay. So right, so now we have this out completely. Let's see. All right, so the regulator, other than this not looking like the other one, looks good. So here's the new motor that's going to go in like this. And so I got to take out these two screws and I should be good. What'd I do with the screwdriver? This is not the greatest way to do this. But I don't have a good workbench and this garage floor is dirty. And I don't want to get the Pajero dirty. All right, so this is off. Now I just got to carefully pull this off. Shit. This is not good. This is not good. All right, I'm just going to have to be careful with what I put this in. I'm going to mess this up if I'm not careful. Oh, shit. Okay, okay, there we go. It just has tension. All right, now my hands are a mess, so I gotta be careful with what I touch here. So this was like this, which means this goes like this. Wait. Oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. It's not good. Oh shit. I'm gonna lose this if I'm not careful. Oh shit. This is not good, chat. This is not good. No, I'm saying chat like I'm live. This is the wrong medium for that. All right. Oh, shit. I gotta pause so I can just focus on this. All right, we got this back together. I'm gonna be extra careful with it because I don't want to risk having to do that again. Okay, so this, just be very careful here. So we're gonna try to stuff this back in here. I almost wish I just peeled this whole thing off right now. I'm behind the bottom of the window. Shit. Oh, I just bumped you guys into the... Oh no. Oh no. I gotta redo this again. Well, shit. Shit. Oh, and one end came out. All right, well, I just made a mess for myself, so we'll be back once I clean this mess up. All right, thank you to my fiance. We finally have it back. I need to cut these. I need to go get a pair of scissors. All right. I really want to finish this job tonight. I do not think I'm going to, but thank you to my fiance who helped lend an extra pair of hands to get this done. Just got to cut these zip ties that I had to use to hold the hold those springs in place. So we got to cut these off. I would recommend, if you have to do this, to have an extra set of hands. I would still recommend using these zip ties like this. Shit, my suction cups are falling off. Okay. Yeah, I better hurry up and get this done. All right, I focused up, I locked in, and I got it. All right. So now we got to work this in here. Realized I don't think the window's in a place where I can Oh my God, why is that not lined up right? So this part that the window has to go on. All right. That's an easily fixable problem. Potentially. All right. Got our fuse. Which we got to put in. Let me take this off the charger. This is kind of a pain to take out. All right, this is gonna just go somewhere safe. I think this just goes in no matter which way. I don't think this matters. It might matter. Don't want to force anything, that's for sure. All right, let's see. Let's see. This looks like this should just slide in, but it's not. So we take this big bad mamma jamma out. Oh, shit. I was not careful enough with this liner. I was not careful enough at all. That's not great. Oh no, this is the connector I need. All right, it works. All right, perfect. All right, final update. GoPros died, both of them. So we're recording this little final update on the phone using just my headphones as a mic. So sorry if the audio is bad. But we have door panel back on. I don't know if we had to replace the motor at all. I'm thinking it might be the switch because the window rolls down perfectly fine. And when the door panel is off, it rolls up very slowly after I hit the switch a couple times.
And when the door panel's on, I finally got to start rolling up, but it wasn't rolling up at all, which is weird. But it rolls up, but after only press it a few times, so the switch already isn't working. It works fine on the other side, which is weird. But so the motor's replaced, so it's either got to be the regulator or it's got to be the switch. And one of the ways that we are going to know that is I rehooked up the battery tender here. You can see it on the floor here. We'll see some lights are already coming on. That should go 3 lights on and the last light blinking. We'll see. It takes a second to recognize how much battery you have. But while that's doing that, so essentially the test here is we're going to make sure the battery's 100% charged. Then before I go to bed, I'm going to unplug the battery tender. Wow, why is that already drained so much? See, the reason I'm charging this up 100% is because I had the doors open with the I had the doors open for a while, so I don't know if the battery's 100%. So we're going to charge the battery up to 100%. If it still drains like crazy tonight, then we know that it's probably the window switch, because the window switch already isn't working. Wow, I can't believe how much that battery's already been drained. That's concerning. But it has been sitting. But it was on the charger. But yeah, so we're going to get this battery all the way charged up. And then either tonight before I go to bed, depending on how long this takes, because this is still charging up. But before I go to bed, or tomorrow morning, if this thing is not charged up before I go to bed, which, God, I can't believe the battery is under 50%. That's concerning. I did have the door open, and I did keep the key and the switch on, so that could be it. But anyways, so that's where we're going to cut it off for now. We're going to check in either later tonight or tomorrow morning, because if this doesn't charge up all the way, we're going to check in tonight on that. Otherwise, we'll check in tomorrow morning after it's been unplugged. But yeah, you can see here the 50% light is blinking, which is really concerning. So that's where we're going to leave it off for now. I will see you tonight, probably tomorrow. Bye. All right, we're literally back a couple minutes later just for an update. It's already on the 75% light. That might be hard to see, but the third light's blinking, which means it was just under 50%. When that first light's on, I believe that's 25%, and when the second light's on, that's 50%. When the second light's blinking, that's under 50%. So it was probably realistically at like 49, 48%. So that's not as concerning, knowing how long I had the door open, sometimes with the key on, testing the window, all of that. That's not as much of a concern as I thought it was. But yeah, so we'll probably won't check in fully again until tomorrow morning. Like I said, I'll just update if it's not charged. But if it's fully charged by the time I go to bed and I come out here and unplug it, then I'll update you in the morning. All right, another quick update. It's been 30 minutes. What did I say? It was 8:01, I think, when I recorded it before. It's 8:35 now, and it's hard to see, but green light's on, and it's not blinking. So that means the battery's at 100%. So just for keeping track of things, it's 8:36 now. We're going to go ahead and, sorry, we're still on the phone, and now I don't even have lights out here like I normally do. We're going to unplug the battery charger from the wall. We unplugged it from the wall. Now we're going to go ahead and remove positive, remove the negative, and we're going to see, and we're going to plug it in tomorrow morning and see what that's looking like tomorrow morning. I'm still worried about the motor not really working, but if we don't drain the battery, then we know that, or the switch not working, sorry. If the battery doesn't drain, then we know that it was the motor that was causing the parasitic drain and not the switch. If it's still draining, it's probably the switch. I did definitely isolate it to the window, something related to the windows, because the whole time I pulled the fuse, the battery did not drain, like, at all. So we'll see. We'll check back in the morning, and we'll figure it out. Good morning. It is the next morning. Like I said, we left the Pajero unplugged, so we're going to go ahead and hook it back up, check it, see, and see if the battery lost a bunch of charge last night. If it did, then the motor is more than likely bad. One suggestion I got from the Pajero Evo owners Facebook group, well, I got the suggestion twice, but one suggestion I got was to clean the window switch. Now, I didn't mention the parasitic drain, but I mentioned the problems the switch was still having. And so maybe a bad connection is activating it all the time. Switches are impossible to get. So if we still have a battery drain, that will be the next steps. Otherwise, I'm going to drive this car, and the contacts probably need cleaning for the switch anyways, and that's going to be our best hope at fixing the switch. But let's go ahead, get this hooked up, and see what the battery charge looks like. So, lighting's a little bad in the garage, but so first we got to get this hooked up. It's not plugged into the wall yet, so which terminal I use doesn't really matter. And we got to plug this on into the wall. And this will take a few minutes if it's going to go all the way to green, which I'm not hopeful that it will, because I think that switch is faulty. It probably didn't lose 75%, so I assume that light's going to go positive. Yeah, I think this light's going to go solid, which is the 25% light. Yep, all right, so this is the 50% light. What we want is the final and green light to be blinking. Because the green light solid is 100%, and a battery's just not going to be 100% if it didn't sit on the charger, obviously. So, let's see. Oh, that's a good sign. If the switch just isn't working properly, then I'm not too concerned, because it probably is the dirty contacts, which the two people suggested are very active. Ooh, look at that. So it was the motor. Oh? What was that? Well, that got my hopes up. Was that incorrect? I guess we keep playing the waiting game. I've never seen that before. Come on. Go solid. All right. Come on, you too. Okay. Now, if it stays like this and doesn't just trick me like it did last time, that's good news. We're going to give it another second, because that's what it did to us before. Wow. And that looks like the battery is 100%. So that motor was our parasitic drain. Wow. So it looks like the motor was the parasitic drain. I don't know why that light's blinking, but no other lights are on. But hey, whatever. The green light's on. To me, that means we didn't lose battery, which is great. So now we just got to figure out why the motor's not working. I'm not going to go in and include that in this video, because it's just cleaning the contacts, or it's just not working. So that's going to be it for this video. I don't know how I don't know how long this is, but if you stuck around through all or most of this video, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you like car content, I try to post at least once weekly. Hopefully, we're going to start making some Pajero content at some time in the future, but thank you so much. Like I said, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Comment down below what you think of this whole process. But I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.